Module 3.1 is where we're going to start working with Microsoft Word. This is going to be a lot more fun because you're really going to start working with the program. But you need to be very, very careful here. What we have set up is we have a lab set up here. And you need to make sure that you are using this lab, this information right here, the resume content. You've got the directions for the lab, and it will refer to using the content. I'm going to open that up so that you can see it. And in this, we have carefully set this up to where when you do the certain features of Word, it is going to end up at one page. So what I'm trying to tell you is do not use your own information. We are going to create a resume out of this information here. He's got his work history, and we're going to make the changes one step at a time. So by the time we are done, it's going to look like a good resume. So I'm going to minimize that. So if you look at the directions, and we're going to go back here a step, but I want to be very clear because every semester a student will try to do this and he'll insert his or her information, personal information. Please don't do that. So when we go to the directions, and I already have them open here. Close that. Oh, okay, here we go. When I go to the directions, we're going to use some of these features here. And like we say here again, do not create your own resume. Use the resume detail that we have created for you. It'll save you a lot of work, a lot of typing, so please use that. Then below here we've got required features and commands, and you're going to be changing the font size, you're going to be changing the section titles are going to be different than everything else, and your name, or the name on the top of it, is going to be different. So what I would suggest is, once again, like we did before, I'm going to snap it over this way. Snap this over here, and then open the actual resume information. I'm going to close that to where I can see this. If you know how to change the fonts, then what you're going to do, and this is a little trick, if you go out to the margin here and click one time, in the margin, it selects the whole row. If you double click in the margin, it selects the whole paragraph. If you triple click, it selects the whole document. But much easier if you're going to select the whole document, press Control and A, and that selects all. So I'm going to highlight the name, and what does it say here? It says the name should be 22 point. So I'm going to just go over this very quickly, and I'll show you where the instructions are. Up here in the font group and the size, I'm going to change that to 22 point. Now, what else? The section titles. The section titles, what I mean here, summary, skills, work history, and education. All of those need to be 13 point right here. 13 point. So if I click on this, get my work history here, and I click here, oh, there's no 13 point. Type in the number 13. It changes that to 13 point. Same thing here. I'm going to have to type that manually. Okay, if you don't do all of these, like we're saying, you're not going to get it. You're not going to get it down to one page. So each of these titles, did I get them all, are 13 point. Now, everything else should be 11. So this should be 11, and there it is. All of this should be 11. All of the skills should be 11. The work history, everything there. Oh, I missed the education. I did not make that 13 point. So keep in mind, you need to be careful and do as I say, not as I do, huh? Okay, now bold. You're going to change some of these to bold and some to italic and some to underline. Well, it says see page 2 and 3 for which lines. So scroll down here in the instructions, and what we have is we have an actual copy of what it should look like when you're done with Lab 1. So this looks like the word summary is in bold. So summary, I highlight the word summary, and I click this B for bold. Like I've told you before, I love shortcuts. Control B is bold. So you need to go on down. You've got titles here that are bold, and it said also italic. Take a look here, you've got italics. So you need to make sure that you get everything italic and everything bold that should be bold and italic. Then there's some that need to be underlined. It looks like the titles here need to be underlined. So you just need to go through there and do those. The line spacing. The whole thing should be single spaced. So if I select the whole document by pressing Control A, and I'm going to go up here to this paragraph spacing, and right over here, line spacing, single spacing, and click OK. So the whole thing is single spaced. So you need to make sure on that. There's bullets. So let's look at the sample. All of these under skills should be bulleted. And right up here in the paragraph group, this first one, see as I scroll over each of these items, a description shows there. That's called a quick tip. And this is the bullets. So see there, those are bulleted now. And as you scroll over here, you can see that there's more that needs to be bulleted. So this needs to be bulleted, and so forth and so on down here. All of your bullets need to line up. So as you're going through here. And then indent. This is one thing that, an indent. The very first indent for summary is what you call a hanging indent. This is probably the most difficult indent there is. And what you need to do, a secret for this, is I'm going to space over one to bring this whole paragraph back to one line. Then I'm going to highlight all of this information here. And if you see this three-part triangle pointed down, one triangle pointed up, and a little rectangle below it. If you look on the middle triangle and you move this over and you try and line it up, there is my hanging indent. So, and then what I need to do is I need to move it all over. Oops, excuse me, I did that wrong. Okay, so that's what the indent there. Any other indent, like right here for Bodyworks, the instructions are right here. Work history and education sections 1/8 inch for the bold lines and 1/2 inch for the italicized lines. So you're going to have to do the bold first, but this Bodyworks, if you go up here to your ruler and pick up that left indent, okay, and I'm going to go over to 1/8 inch. Now, the next one, the title, the job title, it says 1/2 inch. So I'm going to pull this over to 1/2 inch. Okay, so, and then all of my my bullets, I'm going to take the top, see there, and I'm going to drag that over. So when you're done, if you scroll down to the bottom, one of the secrets sometimes when you're working with doing all of these kind of things, is this little button right here. It is your show hide. This is your paragraph markers. So if you see any problems, if you have any problems with what you're doing, like see this is over a little bit too far. Oop, there. So if there's anything, if you've got spaces you shouldn't have, or you just don't understand why something is doing what it is doing, you might have extra paragraph markers. Or here, see all of those little dots means that somebody has hit the space bar that many times. So I'm pressing my delete key to get rid of all of those spaces. But see, we have a sample here of what it looks like with your show hide markers on. This is without your show hide markers. There's with your show hide. And you can just turn that off and on. So that's a good clue when you're working with these. So that's the big thing for the lab. Now let me show you where you can find all of these instructions. You probably think, oh man, she went through that. I'll never be able to do all of those things. I will have a video on here, how to do your tabs. It's a special video. I mean, it's a PowerPoint presentation, but it's really cute how you can do the tabs. But right here, you've got learning videos. These are the Who Knew It videos. But how you can insert text, how you can cut and paste, how you can adjust the line spacing, how you can use the ruler, which is what I did, to change the margins. So you can change your margins. And then the format painter. Make sure to use the format painter. I'm going to give you a time to look at those instructions, but on one of the next videos I'll give you a better example of how to use the format painter. It'll save you a lot of work. I'm making myself a note here real quick. And then the show hide. Each of these videos are very, very short. They're only 2 to 3 minutes. And you also have instructions in the textbook, which I hope you have to use. So that's it for Word Lab 1. Okay, bye.